Mic's muted. Restart. It's gonna be a fun one tonight. This is gonna be different. I'm excited. I am really hoping. I know this is a lot to ask of you guys, but I'm really, really hoping. Okay, that you guys hop on the Zoom. We'll talk. It's gonna be a different video. So I am not kidding. There's a Zoom meeting ID and password. I want you guys to hop on and let's talk. Now, I want you guys to understand. I'll take your questions. We'll have a conversation. We'll go through it. But obviously, there's going to need to be some respect. If I don't feel like answering that question, then that's what it is. If you guys are new to the stream, hi. We're talking tonight. So, yes, you will be on the Zoom, on the stream. People will hear your voice. And I know that's a bold move, but I'm excited. I hope you guys are ready. Last week, we did have our conversation about what we're going to be doing next and how we're going to be pivoting, around what's going on. So hold on, let me fix this. So we will be staying here live. If anybody's confused, we'll be staying here live on our live. I'll be popping into the Zoom, and I sent the code at the top so you guys can join at a meeting ID and password up there. I will let you in. We have a waiting room. And I know it's a lot to ask if you guys listen. It's a lot to ask. If you guys want to be no. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me clarify. I'm sorry. I should have clarified this all. Tonight on our live, you guys have an opportunity to call in on Zoom and we can talk right here on the stream. Talk your stuff out. You can ask questions. I put at the very top, I posted for you guys the meeting ID and the password. Now, I'm excited because honestly, you guys have had a lot of questions for a long time. Now, I'm going to go back to, please be respectful if you do call. Okay? I know some of you guys are shy, but this is your opportunity. I thought it'd be fun to have a good conversation with any one of you guys. But if there is going to be, some wild stuff, we're not going to get into it. All right. So we have a point of where we will say, you know what, that's just not something we're going to get into. Okay. But I really do. Guys, don't be shy. Don't be shy. We can talk. If you do call in, we can talk for a few minutes. I'm going to put you in the waiting room real quick. Okay, Jessica? So I'm going to start taking your guys' calls. Again, this is a good time for us to talk. So I'm excited. Okay? Chiefs or Eagles? I was wearing a whole Chiefs fit today. Okay? Now you guys understand. I've liked the Chiefs for a long time. This is not a new thing. Not like I haven't been doing this. I'm a Chiefs guy. Okay. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to hop in. We got some people in the waiting room. I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to ask questions. We're going to talk. It's going to be a great time. Okay. So let's pop in. Go right here. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to you guys. Okay. We're going to let Jessica go first. Are you ready, Jessica? Okay, Jessica, are you there? Hello? I don't think Jessica has a mic. We'll try. I'm adding in. Are you there? She's connecting to the audio. Let's see if she's there. Janna, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Janna. How are you doing?
Yeah, for some reason, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's good to hear from you.
My video doesn't want to start.
Oh, that's okay. I know we were having some issues. So what I did tonight for our meetings, I just took it off of that I took the video off so there wouldn't be any issues with that. Are you still there?
Okay, cool. Hey, do you know why I'm hearing like, yeah,
You hear it in
yes,
doubles or something?
yeah,
It might be because you're watching the video and you're in on the Zoom. That might be what it is.
yeah.
Anyway, what's going on tonight?
Well, I was just sitting here working at my desk and I noticed that a notice came up saying you were on live and I got really excited.
I'm glad. I'm glad you're here. I thought it'd be really cool for us to be able to talk for once. I get to see you guys' comments all the time, but I never get to hear your voice or connect with you guys. So I thought it'd be a little different too, like this.
Yeah, I think you're incredible.
Thank you.
I followed the story way back
Uh-huh.
and watching you through this, you're just amazing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I think you're amazing too. And I appreciate you being here. I mean, I appreciate you being a part of this community.
Well, thank you.
So do you have any questions? You want to talk about anything specific?
Well, you can choose to decide you don't want to talk about it, but I think it's so interesting of how Lori's doing the like, I don't want cameras thing.
Yeah, I heard about that today. That's definitely interesting.
It's so weird because like it feels like she's all about wanting attention. So it's weird that she would not want cameras.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, honestly, like my perspective is I haven't really given her the attention anymore. I think that it is interesting because she's made this all about her, and then now all of a sudden we're at a point where she's decides she doesn't want it, and I don't think she knows what she wants, and I think she's very confused. She's very confused, Janna. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, she got what she wanted, which was to be her own lawyer, and I think that she's gonna have to live with that whole situation on top of everything. So yeah, I'm not sure what swayed that decision, but
It's so strange because it's sort of like she has nothing really to lose at this point. So whatever crazy she puts out there, it's not, whatever.
right. Yeah, I mean there's nothing to lose in this situation for her. So I think that it's weird because yeah, she's my mom, but also at the same time I feel like I'm watching a character, and I'm watching that character from a distance, if that makes any sense. And it's weird because I can't figure out what she wants at this point, and I can't figure out where her head's at. And it's weird for me because I know her, but it's like I don't know her anymore. So she's gonna decide what she wants to do. I mean, she's all over the place, and we just got to keep doing what we can, which is going forward.
Well, I think that makes perfect sense to just think of her as a character for you because my dad was a little off. He wasn't
Hmm.
anything like Lori, but I just kind of, accepted it for what it was.
Yeah,
And our relationship was like non-existent, but he
yeah,
was my dad.
yeah. That's hard. It's hard when it's your parent. Um, I I don't know how to fully navigate everything, as of yet, but I feel like that's why I share my story and why I try to open it up because of people like you who might have a similar experience, maybe feeling something or identifying with something that I say. I really pray that helps us all be able to kind of accept things for what they are and then be able to also move forward. And I think that's been kind of the new move is for us, like, what do we do when we have situations like this when it's our parents? You love them, you wish that things were different, but they're not. So you just come to a point where it's like, I can't change it. I can't go back. All I can do is go forward. So I think that's kind of been the tone, is trying to figure out, how do I go forward, you know?
Right. And I think you found a pretty good way here. I mean, at least it's almost like, free therapy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm glad, honestly, like, I really hope that there is a continuous, you know, message of healing. I think that's kind of what I wanted to do from the beginning, is like, okay, I really want I want people to heal from their stuff. Like, we can't change what happened, but we can go forward. And so it has been therapy for me too. You know, it's been nice to get on and talk about real stuff.
Yeah, healing from stuff is sort of my specialty. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist.
Are you really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. How does that work?
Yeah, so through hypnotherapy, you're able to look at your past and, see how you feel about it, and sometimes you find that it's not exactly what it was. It's kind of just what you decided it was at the age you were. And then other times you find that it really is exactly what you thought it was. And then you learn how to move past that.
Yeah.
If you need to make any changes, you learn what sort of changes to make and how.
Right.
And if there's no changes to be made, then at least you know that you can now move past that and accept whatever you need to accept, or change whatever you want to change, particularly your own, having control over your own reaction to outside situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the biggest point too, is when so much comes at you, you have to make a decision on how you're going to react. And that's something I just learned. It's like, I learned that you're in control of your reaction, as hard as something might be. And I think that's a really big step. Once you get to that point, now you can start really understanding, okay, nobody can make me react, and nobody can force me to feel a certain way. As hard as it might be, I get to take a step back and decide how I want to deal with the situation.
That's beautiful. You're doing it just right.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I'm going to move on to another caller, but thank you so much for calling in. We
Thanks.
appreciate you.
I'll hang out.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Janna, super sweet. Okay, I'm going to let in, let's see. I think Jessica might have got her audio going. Jessica, are you there?
Oh, yes. Hi. Sorry.
There she is.
Wasn't
I think
able
you
to
popped
have
in.
two apps open. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I had the Zoom going on here. You got the YouTube going on. I know it's a lot. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, hey, I'm pretty good. I just wanted to first just say how much I also think you're doing a great job navigating such a difficult situation. And I just wanted your perspective, because I'm also a relatively new parent. I have a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And I know for my husband and I, we both, when we had our first child, it felt like our heart just grew 800 sizes. And,
Yeah.
we were so tender and emotional. And I just wondered, how were you able to navigate such a difficult time while being a new parent and in a new marriage and things like that? I know I've watched your lives before. I know you go to church and things like that, but
Right.
I just can't imagine such a crazy time while becoming a new parent and a new marriage. It's such a big change in your life.
Yeah, no, you're right. First of all, I really love your question. It was probably the hardest thing ever because, like you said, I mean, you know how it is when you're first in your first years of marriage, you're trying to figure your dynamic out, you're trying to figure all your stuff out in life. I mean, we were in our early 20s, and then now we have a baby added in right before all this stuff happens. I think for me, and I'm sure you feel the same, that my oldest daughter was like an anchor to me. So she kind of gave me that purpose and made me think outside of myself. Honestly, the first, I would say, year after, it was really hard for me to be present. And I really, regret the time I feel like I missed with just so much going on, like mentally. But as time has gone on, I've just been able to settle in more in is and separate and categorize. So I guess for me, my advice and always what I've told my friends and people around me is I feel like you have to look at life with all the things that you are. So you're not just, a husband or a wife or a parent or an employee or whatever it is. You're multiple things, but each one of those things is a category. And so what I learned to do, I think, in the best that I possibly could, and by no means was I perfect, but the best thing I learned is to when I'm with my daughter, I can just be dad. And I think that learning how to be present in the moment became a key thing to my healing and also a key thing to my life is trying to actually be in the moment. And there's still times I struggle with that, but I think at the end of the day, I'm trying to be when it's dad time, it's dad time. When it's time to go to work, I'm in that mode. So it's kind of a mental thing. I think most of life is mental. So I hope that's a good answer for you. But that's kind of how I
No,
look at
that
it.
is. That's great. Yeah, thank you so much. And I just want to send you well wishes to you and your family that's growing and everything. And I think you're doing an amazing job. So keep it up. And thank you for sharing everything you've shared.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jessica. That was such a great question, guys. I'm so glad to have you here. I hope you guys are happy. This is making me happy. I love hearing from you guys for real. Okay, let's go to Cara. Are you there, Cara?
Just wanted your perspective because I'm also a relatively new parent. I have a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And I know
Cara,
for my husband and
are you
I,
there?
we both, we had our first.
Okay. We're gonna go to Mary. We'll go back to Cara. We'll go back to her. Mary, you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm not really sure what just happened, but hi.
Hi. I just
Um,
let you into the meeting. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good.
Wow, I mean, I don't know where to start. I've been following this case and this story for a few years now. I'm
Mhm.
really bad with dates, but I was out in Oregon when I found out about the case, and I really got into it through Nate Eaton, and I'm just curious, during the trial, did you watch Nate Eaton's videos on the case?
That's a good question. Yeah, I feel like Nate was probably somebody that I watched a lot of different clips and stuff, and I think Nate was somebody that I definitely tune into. But I would say
Yeah.
most of the time I was honestly more tuned out, and the only reason being because it's a lot to like try to live your life, and then on top of that, when stuff's going on, like let's say the trial, like there's so many people talking about it, people were like tweeting it live. I couldn't follow all that and like function on the
Yeah.
daily. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think
Yeah.
Nate's a good guy, and I think he's done a really good job in what he's done in his perspective. But I wouldn't say I had one
Right.
person that I particularly followed. If anybody, I
Yeah.
followed Hidden True Crime after I actually like was willing to go to that place and hear about stuff. That was like their channel was where I went to kind of
I
hear the
love
things I was
Hidden
interested
True Crime.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I can't imagine, I mean, all of us were looking at this from an outside perspective, but how did you deal with, because you're just a human being like the rest of us, and so is your
yeah.
mom. How did you deal with the sensationalism of the crime or just of the entire case? How did you deal with that? I mean, because you're right, it had to be so overwhelming, and maybe you dealt with like what is that word? Like derealization almost.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a great question too. Honestly, when it was going on, like after I found out about my siblings, because there was a long point before that happened that I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know where they were. And so after everything really hit the fan, that's when like the reality slowly set in over time. Because at first it's straight like denial. It's almost like you can't believe it's real. And then over
Right.
time it sets in. I think I put my mom on the back burner emotionally completely. Like she almost didn't exist to me. And then I just had
Mhm.
the grief. And I think I lived in that grief for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
I did not, I'll be honest, 100% honest with you. And this has kind of been the tone of the channel. The last, 6 to 9 months have been when I've actually opened up the book and been willing to deal with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I kind of started doing the channel because of it, because I was definitely not ready until very recently. So it took 5 years basically to get to the
Yeah.
point of even being willing to talk about it or accept the situation fully, and even be able to say my siblings' names without crying, like, just anything like that. So it took a very long time to grieve through
Yes.
that.
Right. I just want to say I think we're all astounded by you and your strength and your resilience. And I'm glad that you have this platform, you know. Okay, I don't want to hog. I just have another few questions if you have
You're
the
good.
time.
You're good. Go ahead.
So I also got into, for a while, I was watching Rex and Adam's podcast, The Silver Linings. I almost
Yeah.
said The Silver Linings Playbook, but that's a movie.
Is it?
I'm
Mhm.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Um, but they talked about how there was a lot of disagreement within the family, specifically your grandmother, Lori's mom.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering, have those relationships started to heal, like your grandma and her other sons? And do you know anything about that? Do you talk to any of that side of the family or?
Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that like I talked about before. That's their business. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't talk on that stuff. I think that it's hard in a situation like this because there's a lot of people who talk about things, but I don't think that they have enough of perspective to really share, if that makes sense. I guess I'm
Yeah.
kind of walking lightly in the sense of saying that I think there's a lot of things like other people's relationships. That's stuff that I don't talk on. I
Right.
think that the best thing you can hope for in a situation like this is that people make their decisions on their relationship with others based off of their stuff, if that makes sense. And I think what
Yeah.
happened was in a situation like this, there's so many sides and so much craziness, it just kind of blew everybody up. But it's everybody's individual responsibility to have whatever relationship they want with each other. So, I mean, I leave that to what they do. That's their relationship. That's their business. And yeah, I don't know, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
That's fine. Yeah, I guess that's all I had. Thank you so much for talking to me. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for hopping on. We appreciate you. And we're glad to have
All
you here.
right. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so now we're gonna let in. First of all, how you guys doing? I've been trying to read the chat too. I'm having fun talking to you guys. I'm gonna post the link for you guys again, just so you have it if you guys do want to pop in. We've got somebody who doesn't have a name, so just under Samsung. So hopefully when they pop up. Hello? Are you there? I don't have a name. I don't want to call you Samsung because I know that's not your name. Okay, we might have to come back. And that's okay, guys. That's okay. Okay, we're going to go to Robin. And that's okay, guys. Robin, are you there?
I am.
How you doing tonight?
I am doing very well. How are you?
Doing good.
I'm here.
It's good to hear from you. You're probably getting an echo from the video and the Zoom because they're both on 2 different timings. So you
Yep,
might be
I
hearing me
do.
talking twice.
That's fine.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
Yeah. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, actually, I have a question that's absolutely related to you and not about your mom.
Oh, okay.
I'm older generation. My father was a pedophile, and I'm his oldest daughter, and it does equal what you think it does. But I told in 1979 where there wasn't much of that stuff.
Mhm.
But God used that experience for me
Mhm.
to push me into a life mission that he wanted me to do. I became a foster mom of teenagers for 34 years.
Mhm.
And I was able to hang on to my faith and my belief and throughout all of those trials.
Yeah.
So I have been super impressed with you at such a young age that you've been able to do that. How have you been able to hang on to your faith in God, having to go through all of the pain of what other people's choices have made?
Yeah, that's an incredible question. Um, I'll be honest with you, like I grew up LDS and I had a I always had a faith. I always believed in Jesus and God and like I just had this foundational faith. I wrote in my book about kind of those moments that defined my faith personally, where I just like felt and saw God's hand in my life. I just knew He was there. And it wasn't until I was older that I started wondering about my faith, right? I grew up kind of just like following suit and having faith. But like, I think at some point in everybody's life, you have kind of a faith crisis of questioning your own, where I'm at, right? And then after everything happened with my family and what my mom had said and how she was one of the instrumental pieces of my faith growing up, right? She was the one that tried to teach me things and talk to me about the Bible and teach me about Jesus and everything. Watching her veer so far to the left was like a big moment where I needed to figure out what was going on because I always believed inherently that my mother was a good person. And there's no way that she could do this. So there had to be a bigger reason. And I tell you that because that's when I started reading. I remember I was praying and I was reading my Bible. And at this point, I'd already kind of become a Christian. And I asked God like to help me understand what's going on in my life. And I remember clearly, the clearest day, He told me to forget everything I have known and just restart with Him and start reading my scriptures for myself. And that was the most instrumental thing I'd ever done because I kind of just said, okay, I'm just going to kind of restart. I'm going to go back to school with Him. And I just started reading. This is also during COVID, or kind of like right after COVID. And I just started reading and praying on my own and really understanding the Bible as an adult and really engaging. And then, well, that was actually like right before everything happened. And then maybe 2 or 3 months later, I find out what happened with my siblings. And I feel like He was preparing me in a sense of like strength wise to be able to weather what was coming. And after everything happened, I just relied on Him so much, you know? And I think that that's what solidified it is different events in my life and experiences where He came through for me. But I'll be honest with you, I do struggle still in my faith, only in the sense of like, it's really hard for me to fully accept that God loves me. And, I have my own personal struggles that I still go through to this day. So by no means do I feel like I am a perfect person or, the best example. I just always share what I do know and what I feel. And yeah.
Well, here's what I'm going to say about God loving you.
Mhm.
Okay. God loves you as much as you love your little ones.
Yeah.
And sometimes a loving God will allow His children to make choices that He absolutely has to turn away from and look away from, because how dare they do that to another one of His children, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the Bible talks about that it better a millstone be cast around your neck and be thrown in the depths of the sea,
Yeah.
instead,
Yeah.
and not offend one of his
Exactly.
little children, right?
Right.
And so, but you as a parent have to let your child make choices that you can see around the corner for, right?
Yeah.
But at that moment, you're right there to ready to pick her up and hold her or him when the tears start to fall, or I fell and
Right.
now I scraped my knee, right? So
Yeah.
even when you don't feel love, the times when you don't feel loved, those are the times when God is holding you in his hands more than you know.
Yeah. That's a
Just
great
like,
point.
just look like you would be with your children,
Yeah.
and
No,
so
that's beautiful.
I just want to say, and then I'll turn it over to somebody else, how much I admire you and how much strength that I see in you. And even though you've went through some really awful things because God gave somebody else their agency too,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a parent, I have kids, and I
Mhm.
love my agency for me, but not always for them.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that sometimes God feels that same way about
Yeah.
us, right? I
I'm
mean,
sure.
I'm sure he loves his agency for this, but not necessarily the way your mom took her agency, right?
Yeah.
But I think that you've come through this with a tremendous amount of integrity and grace, and I think that shines out throughout with not only your testimony but just throughout your spirit. And it's been remarkable to watch you grow through the pain of other people's choices.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you for being an inspiration for tons and tons and tons of people.
Dude, you're gonna make me cry over here. I'm a crier, Robin. Thank you for saying that. That was very, very sweet of you.
That's okay. I'm crying too, so it's just all good.
We have us all out here crying right now. Thank you, seriously.
Right.
I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Colby.
Have a great night.
You too.
Robin, trying to get the tears rolling down my cheeks. Can't be a thug forever, huh? I'm gonna start crying out here. Okay. All right. We've got Nicole right here. Let's bring in Nicole. Nicole, are you there?
I am. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, hi. How are you, Colby?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I just wanted to pop in to say, I've been listening to your channel and I'm really amazed at the strength that you have had throughout all of this, and it's very easy to lose the softness and the sense of humor, and I think those are two pillars that we need through every chapter of our lives. And the way you have so warmly and gracefully uh, um, gone through this and opened up your heart and started this channel it's remarkable. And I feel like, when listening to how you share things, it's sort of, it slows things down, I think, for at least for me. And I think, wow, this is really such powerful, such a powerful voice that we get to listen to. And it makes you really put things into perspective. And it's really just incredible what your choice to be so honest and vulnerable and raw, because it's uh, hopefully healing for you, but it's really, I think, it's just beautiful to, for the people listening and getting to know you a little bit better through this community. So it's, I just wanted to tell you that.
Honestly, thank you for saying that. I mean, you saying that is exactly, always been my thoughts and prayers is that what I've experienced can be somehow flipped around for good for someone else. You guys have been here for me,
Absolutely.
you know,
And you've really done that.
Yeah, you guys have been like here, and it's been like a bunch of months of just Friday night therapy and just different conversations. And I think that knowing that we were building a group of people who were kind of sick of all the other sensational things going on in the world and just kind of talking about the real side of life and the struggles and the ups and the downs. And, we do need to laugh. We do need to still have, a perspective of love for other people. And we are all struggling in different ways. And I think it's really easy in this world with social media and with, movies and TV stars and all these things. You just kind of always see this limelight life where people are always walking around looking like they're so happy, which we all know isn't true no matter what. And so I just felt like I was so sick of that part of life, always just seeing everybody I'm like, am I just having the worst life here ever? Am I just, experiencing all the worst things? But honestly, I'm really grateful that you said that. Thank you for saying that, because that's all I've ever wanted, is just to help people and be able to connect with people like you, and be able to be any kind of help. So I really
Thank you.
appreciate
You're doing a beautiful, beautiful job. Just sharing and being open, because that's all we have. Honesty and just our true selves, and
Yeah.
it means so much to see that coming through, especially given everything. It's really, like I said, it's really remarkable what you're doing, and the strength that you have.
Well, thank you. Seriously. Bottom of my heart, thank you for
Colby.
saying that.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Have a great night.
You too. Take care.
Bye. You guys are the sweetest people in the world. I did not know how amazing you guys were going to be on the phone. I just want you to know it means a lot to me too, because this is very real for me, and this is like the most real it's been, because I can actually talk to you guys, which is awesome. I'm so grateful for that. All right, let's go to Ty. Joining. Ty, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, and I'm so sorry. I was the Samsung that I do not know how to use Zoom.
It's okay.
So,
It's all good.
I apologize.
I was like, we got a
But-
Samsung in here. I don't know who it is, but we'll find out.
Yes, I'm sorry. And then I got
No,
really
you're good.
sad when I got bumped. But
No, you're good.
and I had a whole thing that I was going to say before, and I completely lost it. But
It's totally fine.
basically, I agree with everybody, that all the things that they've said. And also, I also started watching this through Nate Eaton when he was in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And I mean, watched like the whole thing, and it like consumed like years of my life, and my family are thinking like, you're crazy, but it was just a lot. And I also the whole time was thinking about you and what you must have been going through. Sorry, I'm probably gonna cry.
That's okay.
But seeing you and Kelsey and your little babies, and seeing you all do well, is like the best thing. So I just,
Yeah. Thank you.
I think it's great that you guys are doing great, and we wish nothing but the best for you guys. And also, I
Honestly,
had one
thank you.
question
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
your mom's trial.
Go
Can't
ahead.
answer it. Fine, if you can't, that's fine.
Mhm.
Well, I live in New Mexico,
Mhm.
and I was wondering if they're letting public into that, because yeah, I was just wondering. I'm not saying I would be there or anything. I'm just wondering.
If you want the honest truth, I don't know.
You don't know.
I'm not tapped in. I have no connection to her trial. I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, I'm the most disconnected from that that I've ever been. So, and that's kind of been, I think, in a good, in a way, it's been a good thing for me. Just because it's just, it's not consuming everything. But yeah, I genuinely don't have information about it. And I mean, people have reached out to me and told me things kind of like right after they happened or something of that nature, but I don't know what the plan is there. I think you guys are the ones that just told me that she asked for no cameras. So yeah, I'm learning details
I
sometimes
didn't
as
even
they
know
come
that.
out. Yeah. So to be honest, I don't know anything about that, to be honest.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just was just curious.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope you guys are doing great, and thank you for letting us in on this. It's really nice.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing that, and
And
thank you for
yes,
what you said, honestly.
thank you for bringing me back in because
I'm glad you weren't just Samsung.
Yes, I'm not Samsung, and I really
I love
did
it.
worry about you guys, and I know it's not my life, but you kind of do get invested in these things and care about the people that it's happening to. So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. And I care about you guys too, and I appreciate you being here. I mean, it's a big deal for you to come on here on your, take your time out of your day to even jump on and say those things you said. So thank you. I appreciate that.
thank you, and I hope you guys have a good night.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's go to Jules. Jules is out here hopping on the phone. Are you there, Jules?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. How are you? I was like, oh my
Good.
God, I'm finally catching him being live again because I've been working so much. I'm just like, yay. So I'm not used to this.
Awesome.
Is so weird. I hate like hearing myself talk, but I figured I'd come and say hi to y'all because, yep, this is the place to be.
Hey, and you've been here for a long time. I see you all the time on there, so I'm glad you're finally able to talk on here.
Oh yeah, it's cool. And Vader's doing good too. He's still stealing loaves of bread though, which I don't know what's so fascinating about bread, but for some reason that's like his go-to bad boy snack. But you mentioned earlier I saw your thing saying Chiefs or Eagles, and I mean I'm from Philadelphia, and we'll be working the city with Gator afterwards because people are crazy in Philadelphia. But I'm like the only Philadelphia person who's not an Eagles fan because Eagles fans are just
wild.
They're a different breed. Like even if the Eagles win or lose, it doesn't matter. They just act really like bonkers. It's just nuts. But
the Philly fans,
well, Eagles especially, like they're just at least Phillies fans are a bit more like it's a family sport, with baseball and everything.
Right.
But what I did want to say to you is I don't have a question per se, but it's just kind of a statement. So I've been in the military for 16 years now. And in the Army, obviously with deployments and stuff, whenever we get ready to deploy or come back from a deployment, all the soldiers go through something called Master Resiliency Trainer. It's like a training to and one of the big things they teach us is like hunt the good stuff. And like every single morning you say like one good thing that happened to you that day. And literally the one chief was like, when we were overseas, he's like, well, they had caramel creamer in the DFAC, which is where the dining facility, and everyone started laughing. But when you think about it, that one little positive thing was like, you know what, that made his day for just that brief period of time, and he was so happy that he's like, this came in, like this is great. And it's one thing to see PowerPoint presentations and all this stuff when we come back and we get ready to ship out, but the last live I caught of yours when I wasn't working was you were talking about, compartmentalizing and everything else. So the other day I referred a bunch of my soldiers to your podcast because I said, this is somebody who has been to hell and back and he's very real and he's very inspirational and sorry. They had a whole appreciation for you. So just know that the guys in my unit with the military police command really, really respect all that you do and had a very high appreciation because you get very real with everybody. You're not just, an instructor up there teaching a class. You bring personal stories. You bring like your true self. You'll laugh with us. You'll joke with your chat. You'll interact. You tell it like it is. And I just want you to know that it's very, very appreciated, especially by me. And if ever you need to come out to Pennsylvania, you got a friend for life out here, and obviously with Vader and Gator too.
Yeah,
So
Vader and Gator, I love it.
Yeah,
Awesome. Honestly, thank you for saying that. It means a lot to me too. I mean, I'm just, again, I know I keep telling you guys kind of the same things, but this is overwhelming emotional for me, because this is all I ever wanted in my whole life, is like, after everything got so bad, hoping that something positive would come. And so for you guys to say that, and for you to say that specifically, and, you know, even like you said, that one little thing that you have each day, sometimes life is that hard. You just have one tiny thing. It doesn't matter what it is, even if it's, you know, just getting enough sleep, or your favorite snack, just that one thing that you need that day. That's a really great point. But it means a lot to me when you guys say that, you know, something I've said is helpful. That means everything to me.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, you talk about compartmentalizing, and that's something that like people don't really talk about. Especially, you know, with, I can only speak to like the military side of things, but I see a lot of like my guys and my gals go through, and like they don't know how to do that. So, and again, I can read PowerPoint slides all day. I can talk about, you know, certain things, but directing them to like your podcast, they were just like, wow. And like, again, you're so real and so interactive and just so like personable. So I think that you are fantastic at what you do. I think you should just, I love the direction your channel is going in. So please don't ever give up. Please don't ever quit. You're a motivation, and you're a beacon of hope and a beacon of light to a lot of us out here. And you've been that way since I started following your story. So I just want to say thank you so much for all that you do. And it's very appreciated. And you have a lot of support in your chat here too with all of us. So thank you again for talking to all of us.
Yeah, thank you. Honestly, thank you. And thank you for your service. Thank you for all that you do. And honestly, like, it means the world. And I have seen you around forever. I've always seen your chats, so I appreciate you. I love that I literally think about Vader and Gator. That's so funny. Every time I see you, I love it. I love the updates. And I really appreciate you being here, honestly. Thank you.
Of course, I'll catch you on the next one for sure. But thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me. This was fun. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Have a good
All right,
night,
have
Jules.
a good night.
Okay, bye. You guys are so awesome. I have been putting the chat in there if you guys want to talk. We're going to pull up Julia. Are you there, Julia?
Oh, hi, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. I can't believe I'm really excited to be talking to you and to everyone in the chat. So hi everyone, and hi you.
Hi.
Gosh, I have so many things I feel like I would love to say and talk about. But I wrote some things out in my notes, and so I'm going to try to stick to that so I don't veer off too much or just,
Okay.
you know, I don't know. But I
Go for it.
really appreciate you as a human being, as a husband, a father, all the things that you are. And so thank you for allowing us to kind of like step into your life when your life had already been so invaded and your personal space has been invaded and all of that. So it feels so special to be kind of a part of your journey in some ways. So I just want to thank you for that
Yeah, I
greatly.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Of course, of course, of course. So okay, just sorry, going through my notes here.
Go for
So okay, obviously been or not obviously, but been following from the beginning, and I know you talk about how surreal so much of this feels for you, and I just want to thank you again for, you know, because there is kind of this really interesting, of course, you know, the world of true crime and people who follow like different lawsuits and all that, and there's this kind of degree of separation between listener or observer and the people in the situation, and you've been able to
Right.
bridge that gap in such a beautiful way. And I think it's something that is just so important to do, to like bring the humanity back to certain situations that you know, like the things are more than just a story or this or that. Like it's just,
Yeah.
again, you humanizing the situation is just incredible, because I think so many people did probably hear about what was happening with your family, and you know, maybe from a true crime podcast, or like maybe catching the news, and in all those ways it feels so distant, and you've
Yeah.
brought this level of realness that I think is just so important, especially for everyone to be able to like be proactive in terms of what we do as observers, or you know, people who are trying to be supportive of people who are going through hard times. It really helps us understand what people in your position need, whether it's just, you know, for us to shut up, which I'm not doing right now, and just listen, or whatever it may be. So thank you so
Yeah.
much. I just want to say that. Okay.
I
And
appreciate that.
then, of course, and then my next point is I just think it's so beautiful how you've been able to kind of separate your mother's religious beliefs and those dangerous beliefs from your own beliefs, because I think it could have been so easy for you to just decide that you wanted nothing to do with your faith.
Yeah.
And I know that your family, you know, meaning your wife and your children, have a huge like role in that. But it's
Yeah.
just, for me, as somebody who has been kind of through some like religious related hardships, you know, it's so
Mhm.
easy to just like want to turn your back on that. And so it's been
Yeah.
super inspirational to see how you've navigated all of that and stayed so positive. And so that's just absolutely incredible. And like, I kind of practice like more like Buddhist philosophy, but also I am um you know, somebody who, you know, grew up Episcopalian, and follow a lot of things that I still
Mhm.
follow a lot of those things still. But it's just kind of amazing, like the connections between like practicing gratitude and like, and you know, everything that
Yeah.
Jesus taught us and things like that. So it's
Yeah.
just like really, it's really refreshing to have somebody talk about religion in such a way that's so inclusive and beautiful, and like not fear based, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like you present it in a way that is so palatable to everyone. And I really thank you for that so
Thank you.
much.
You're so
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh, no, 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 of course. And then, sorry, I'll wrap up soon. And then
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I just also wanted to say how incredible it is that like you found a way to create your own life and your own safety with your new family. I just like, I don't know. I feel like you are somehow, I don't know, someone's looking out for you, because you are just, you seem so happy. You have such a beautiful family, and like you've just been able to completely rewrite your narrative and take charge of your life in a way that so many children who have had like narcissistic or mentally ill parents like cannot do. And so it's absolutely incredible that you've been able to do that.
Thank
So yay for that. Sorry, I'm like going through this
you.
checklist
No, you're
here.
good.
Okay,
I
and
love
then
that you have notes.
okay, and then okay, the next one is just I love, like, you know, for me, the importance of vulnerability and honesty in the healing process, because so I have I'm almost done with my master's in clinical mental health. But I think that for us to not put a gender association with vulnerability and like emotional exploration is so important. It really frustrates me that we kind of like gender these things, or our
Yeah.
society does. And it's like, no, like we need men and women, we need everyone to heal, like no matter,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like no matter what they went through. And it shouldn't be taboo, and it shouldn't be something that's scary to talk about. You know, if anything, it's just incredibly empowering to everyone who watches you. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you.
And then I do want to say that, so my dad growing up went through just like, really, I won't get into it, horrific things. But you know, what's so sad is
Yeah.
that my dad never got help and never went to therapy. And just like seeing the difference of how you're handling like your wife and your children versus like how my dad did. It's really, really, really cool because I wish that, like, I feel like I missed out on like 30 years of knowing him because it hasn't been until recently that he's finally figuring things out.
Yeah.
And so, like, I don't know, as a daughter of a dad who's been through some stuff, it's just really cool to see that you're doing the work so that you can be there and show up for your family in ways that like a lot of men, especially from the past generation, like couldn't do just because of whatever barriers they had in their own mind,
Yeah.
or, societal barriers, cultural barriers, stigmas, taboos. So I think it's like
Yeah.
incredible that you're doing what you need to do to show up for the people that you care about in your life. And then, okay, the last thing is a question, and then I'll
Okay.
let you go.
No,
Okay.
you're good. I
So,
appreciate all your points, by the way, too.
okay, of course, of course. So my question is, so
Mhm.
how do you, because I have a lot of trust issues myself, like or are you still working on this? Or do you think it'll be
Mhm.
maybe be a lifelong thing? Like, how do you reconcile this ability to trust
Mhm.
and like this like assumed safety, like how you assumed for so long that like your mom was doing right or like whatever
Yeah.
because she was your mom and she had good
Yeah.
intentions. Like, how do we, and I'm saying we because I'm like, how do any of us figure out like
Yeah.
how do you not get jaded?
Yeah.
How do you figure out like kind of, how do you reconcile the fact that you can trust people but that like a lot of the people you think you can trust or are not really all that trustworthy? It's so confused. It's a hard
Yeah.
thing for me. I struggle with it. I was wondering if you had any
No,
advice.
absolutely. I mean, I'll just give you my perspective if you want that.
Yeah,
Um,
please.
I think for me, to be honest with you, like I was definitely not trusting of anybody after a lot of the situations. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think by nature, I have always assumed that people are inherently good and do not have
Yeah,
bad
me too.
intentions. I
Mm-hmm.
think that a lot of times we reflect and I'm not saying by any means I'm the greatest person ever, but like I don't have bad intentions for people. So I think I just assumed everybody else didn't have bad intentions. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
and it was a hard lesson because and this is kind of the sidebar, but like even the experiences I had with media taught me that I can't just walk in and trust everybody like I would. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh yeah, like this is a nice person, and I'll just share my story and be open and vulnerable and just kind of chit chat, whatever. The truth is, like, I definitely have guards up that I have to constantly work with. I do
Yeah.
not. I hope this doesn't ruin what you said, but like I don't really trust anyone. But I have.
Right.
That's the fear, and that's all the trauma. That's what's immediately there. So I don't trust anybody. But
Mm-hmm.
I have to sit there with those walls and slowly say, okay, I know I feel this way, but I'm gonna give certain length of rope to the people I'm around. So like
Right.
over time, I can kind of figure out where we sit. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
other biggest things I came to is everyone is we're all human beings. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're all going to do things. And so I think it's something that I'm working on, but I'm learning to be more secure in myself and not just open the book up immediately and say, just here's my heart. You can have a piece, and then you can do whatever you want with it. And then you get hurt, and
Absolutely.
it's this huge thing all over again. It's something I'm learning to deal with. When
Mm-hmm.
again, when a parent hurts you, I think that's just a different kind of pain. I think that's a different kind of trust breach. And
Right.
so I'm still learning that lesson, but I think my best advice, honestly, that I've been going through is just kind of like really letting yourself not be in fight or flight all the time and not have black and white thinking, and really just allow the relationship you're in to show you their cards over time. I guess that would be my
Yeah.
best advice, and kind
Well,
of what I've been doing in my life.
yeah. Well, thank you so much. As you know from everyone you've talked to and your chat, you're such an inspiration to everyone, and you've really helped me get through difficult times. And so, yeah, I appreciate you greatly, and it almost doesn't feel real that I'm talking to you because I've known who you are for
Right.
so many years and your family. and again, not like in a weird way, but in a very much like my heart, just like many other people have said, how invested they became in it. And so yeah, just thank you so much. And yeah, best of luck to you. Obviously, you're on the right path and you're just going to do the best things with your life. So I'm so happy for you.
Yeah, thank you, Julia. You're very sweet. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. And I
Of
think
course, of course.
I really appreciate
All
you,
right.
honestly.
Absolutely. Have a
right.
wonderful night, and I'll keep listening now. Okay, bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
You guys are amazing. You guys are amazing. Been on survival mode since day one. I want to feel safe. I feel you. It's not easy to not. It is hard, guys. I mean, inherently, I think we all are scared of pain. We do not want to feel pain, and our bodies do not want to have to deal with that. But there's a certain point where we want to feel safe enough to come out of survival mode. Because survival mode is not meant forever. You're not supposed to be in survival mode forever. Okay, let's talk about it real quick. What is the Super Bowl Sunday pick? What's my parlay? I don't have parlay this year. I mean, whatever. But I'm going with the Chiefs. And if I had a parlay, it would be I think the Chiefs are going to win by at least a touchdown. Sorry to my Eagles fans. I just believe that the Chiefs are going to three-peat, right? They're going to three-peat. I think it's three-peat. Yeah, I think they're going to win. Sorry. Love all of you. Let's not get divisive over football now. All right, let's go to Janine. Or Janae. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't say your name wrong. Are you there? She's connecting to the audio.
The way you have so warmly and gracefully gone through this and opened up your heart and started this channel it's remarkable. And I feel like, when listening to how you share things, it slows things down, I think, for at least for me. And I think, wow, this is really such powerful, such a powerful voice that we get to listen to. And it makes you really put things into perspective. And it's really just incredible what your choice to be so honest and vulnerable and raw, because it's hopefully healing for you, but it's really, I think, it's just beautiful to, for the people listening and getting to know you a little bit better through this community. So it's, I just wanted to tell you that.
Honestly, thank you. I mean, you saying that is exactly, always been my thoughts. And
okay, hold on now.
That this,
are you there?
I've experienced can be.
Hello.
Let's see if she can come back because we got some echo going on there. Are you there?
Yeah, you guys have been like here.
I'm here.
It's been like a.
Okay. Can you turn down your other screen that
and
you got going? Because we're getting the echo. We're getting some
Oh,
bounce
sorry,
back.
just that.
knowing that we were.
No, you're
building
good. Go for it.
We're.
Are you there?
Yeah, are you here?
There you go.
Hey, Colby, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. So, I'm not in exactly the situation, obviously, that you're in, but I have had some thoughts about how to handle talking to my young children about a situation within our family. They eventually will be understanding the situation, and I'd like to get ahead of that. And I was just wondering how, or if you have thought about how you can get ahead of this with your own kids, and how you and your wife might be, explaining things to your kids,
Right.
giving information that's age appropriate, and so that they
can feel like separate from it. Like they're not
Right.
being defined by this horrible
Right.
thing.
Right. How do you explain it to them without it like taking on an identity of them or something of that nature? And
Exactly.
I think you made a key point is it's age appropriate. I think the number one thing is like you have to realize what a certain age can palate. It is something you kind of have to slowly go through. Like Riley was born right before everything started. And so she has been the most aware. My youngest daughter, she is not really aware, to be honest with you. And then our son, obviously, he's 3 months old, so he's just throwing up and drooling. But at the end of the day, slowly over time, I think I'm going to explain it early on, the earliest as possible. And then over time, I really think it's about opening up for questions, allowing them to come to you and be able to give their perspective and ask the questions that they want and then come back or whatever the case is. I really think it is hard because, how many times have I thought to myself, how am I supposed to explain why my kids don't have their grandpa, their grandma, their aunt, their uncle? Like, how do I ever explain where my family is? And so Riley knows that they're in heaven. Even knows that. But at the end of the day, it is something that we've just kind of, with all of the way that we have been approaching parenthood, is allowing the kids to know without the shame, the guilt, the condemnation of them coming to us, asking questions and being able to answer them in an age appropriate way. And I think Kelsey's been the one that really helped me understand that perspective, but also just really, opening it for them to feel that they're safe to come to you. And then there's really no judgment and that you can just explain it the best you can. And I will be honest, that is hard. It's hard because those are very hard conversations. Things that are going on in your family. If you have to explain something like this, how do you do that? I think it starts with age appropriate way and then allow them to ask questions. It's the best thing I think you can do.
Yeah. I just wanted to say also that I have a lot of respect for how you've been handling this situation with your mom. I mean, clearly, Lori is a very manipulative person, and you've set this very clear boundary, and you're protecting your kids. And I think I think that's awesome, and I'm so happy to see that's how that's gonna be, because I have seen the opposite happen, and it's not a good. So I know it's really hard. She's your mom and stuff, but your family comes first. This is your family, and you have to protect them. And they should not. Well, in my opinion, they should not be a part of her life. Should not have access to her, or vice versa. So I think you're doing the right thing. If you ever had any qualms about, you were depriving your kids of anything, I can assure you, you probably don't need to hear it from anybody else. But I'm just really impressed with how you've handled everything. I can't
appreciate you
imagine.
saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is I have to protect them. That's my job. And that's my biggest point in life, is to try to protect them from everything. And I know for me, that was a very hard thing. But if I wouldn't have done that interview and set that boundary with her, for my own sake, to say, you are never doing this, that was a big step for me, because I was a pushover person. I was a people pleaser person who would always let and allow someone to kind of make me feel bad. And then all the emotional crap that comes into it. I think at some point you really do have to stand up. And I mean, when it comes to my kids, it's not negotiable. If I'm going to stand in front of the bullet or fight the bear, whatever it is, like they're going to get protected, and it's going to be not a question if I step in front of that to protect them. So I think that's kind of the mentality that I had with it. And I didn't care who she was. I didn't care what her relations was. She tried to manipulate me with that whole line about forgiving and letting, because she's their grandma, and try to, all this stuff. And it just, that's a hard boundary you have to set, and it's not easy, but it's something that I already, in that conversation and before that conversation, accepted. But I had a lot of time with it. So I'm not going to sit here and say I know what it's like for other people to have to make that decision in the current moment. But I had a lot of time to think and not be around her, and then finally tell her to her face, absolutely not. We're not going to have a relationship, and you're not going to have access to the kids ever. And that is just what it is. So, but
yeah, I mean, I think that sends a really good message to other people who may be in somewhat of a situation that is a little bit similar to yours. But Colby, you have got a beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. And I wish all of you guys best of luck and many, many happy years. I think the worst is behind you. It's all up. It's all going to be wonderful from here on out.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, let's go to Sarah. Sarah is connecting. Let's see. Hopefully she'll be able to connect on there. Sarah, might have to come back to you. We don't have any audio. Okay, we'll put her back in the waiting room. Let's go to Lori. Let's see if she's got audio on there. Lori, are you there? Hello?
All right, Colby, can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Hello? Good.
All right, Colby, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay. Now we're getting a little echo. Could you turn down your other video that you got going on?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay. Now we're getting a little echo. Could you turn down your other video that you got going on?
I'm doing well.
Okay. Now we're getting a little echo. Could you turn down? Okay. Let's try one more time. Okay.
Okay, we're trying it again.
Let's try. Are you there? You there?
Well, what the heck?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay, are we good?
You there? Yeah, I think we're good.
What the heck?
Okay, I can hear you now. We're getting a lot of echo. You there? Yeah, I think we're good.
What the heck?
Okay, I'll come back to you, Lori. Try to, guys, if you're waiting, try to mute. I know it's hard. Try to mute it. Whatever you're watching on, and then that way it won't echo back and forth between us. Okay, let's go to Maria. Did it work? Okay, says she's joining. Are you there, Maria? Hello? Oh, we don't have audio on her. Okay. Okay, now we've got, let's see. I've only got 2 mics on here, guys. Let's see if we can go to Cara. Are you there? Cara, are you there?
Yes. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I had to turn down my phone. I think I was a little bit behind, and so you were talking to somebody else.
No, you're good. It was just bouncing our echoes back and forth. I heard
Okay.
you say something and then repeating it. It's all good.
Okay.
How you doing?
I am doing okay, and thank you so much for talking to me. Like some of the others, I've followed the case for from the beginning, and I had never done that before. It just captivated me. I think I saw some similarities in my own life. I won't get too much into that, but I have, I'm the same age as your mother. I have a son with autism and seems kind of similar, though mine's 16 now, but was younger then. And yeah, just different things. And I really tried to read everything. I just felt my heart just broke so much for you and your siblings and everybody. And I read your book. I
read everything that came out and tried to understand how this could happen, like a lot of there is no real explanation, I guess. But one of my questions was, when I think about Lori, I think about my own mother. Most of the time she was a decent mother, but she was bipolar, and when she would get sick, she would get manic and she would have religious delusions. And of course nobody was harmed, but they would be pretty serious. And so, but then I think about her, the day-to-day life. And so that was kind of my question for you, like your mom day-to-day. Like I've read your book, and the moving around a lot, and the always seems to be drama. But like, was she the type of mom, like, did she make you breakfast and have dinner on the table every night? Was she somebody that did things with your school? I'm just trying to figure out who she was.
Yeah. If you want the honest truth, I think that's kind of been the main psychological question that everyone's asked. My mom obviously is a very, very different person. She was more involved. She was the friends, everybody's favorite mom to come around as far as my friends. Like she was the Disney, let's go do anything fun. Let's go have a good time every day. That was just her mentality. So, I mean, that's kind of been the biggest problem is, I don't think that's kind of what I did on the channel, right? That's why I made that last video too, is like, I went on a deep search. I went on a religious search. I went on a psychological search. I tried to find if there's any way I could make sense of what happened to her. And I think a part of my mindset was trying to, I guess, accept it, or like just somehow understand it. Maybe that would help. And I finally just kind of came to that conclusion that, I mean, no matter how, I went as far as to talk to her personally, and that didn't do it. So I think it's going to be a mystery for the rest of time. I think the best thing going forward is realizing that there's a lot of deception out there now. I mean, with social media and people writing books and doing all these things, when you get into the spiritual life, you get into like people talking about different experiences and things. I think that it's just a lot easier for people to be manipulated. And I think that when you find the right type of person to be told, I mean, it's kind of like perfect storm, right? It's like everything has to happen just right for it to be the worst version of itself, if that makes sense. And, at the end of the day, I think that's what happened. And I've shared that before too. I don't recognize her anymore. Obviously I've come to terms with my childhood and realizing that there was different signs, because when you're a kid, you just love your parents. My mom was the only parent I had, and I was very attached to her, and I looked at her with such a beaming light. And then, you get older and you realize, well, I mean, wow, I really painted this picture in my head of who she was. But I mean, she was very different, if that's your question. She was very involved with my friends. She's very fun and enjoyable to be around, and she was the life of the party, and she tried to make things fun for everybody and get people involved. And then, one day I think something just awoken inside of her, or changed inside of her. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you could spend the rest of anyone's life trying to figure out what happened, because even if she explained it to you up front, I don't think it makes sense. It's never going to make sense. So
right. And
that's kind of what I came to,
Yeah, and you would know. I mean, I just try to learn from reading. No, I mean, I guess when I'm hearing what you're saying, the life of the party, the fun one. I mean, was it attention? I mean, or was she also nurturing? Like I said, did she always, cook dinner and go to your meets, or, whatever sports? Was she also a parent, or was she just always more like the fun big sister, that had everybody over and always a party?
I mean, she was a parent in those ways. She was supportive. She cared. She made dinner. She made sure things were done, but she was also very, obviously wanted to be the life of the party. And so that's kind of just what that was. I mean, she did things as a parent. She helped, she provided, she supported my dreams. Like she was there for me personally in a lot of ways, you know, but she wasn't the parent that I needed. And, you know, that's just what it is.
Yeah. Wow. I, like everybody else, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I'm really proud of you, because it does sound like she did, you know, she was really loving in her own way, and even after the horrible things that have happened, that's still got to be hard to not have contact with her, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, I've accepted my situation. I think you come to a point where there's no longer any room for what ifs. There's no longer room for I wish. There's no longer room for I want things to be different. I think at some point there's just an acceptance you come to where it's like everything comes to a head, and you just realize that it almost hurts you more to live in the graveyard of what was. And that's kind of been the reason why there's been such a pivot on the channel too. Like what we're coming into next is, you know, how do you navigate the rest of your life after something happens? You know, how do you live a life worth living outside of tragedies? And I think that that's kind of been the focus. And, you know, I really do hope that there is a forward momentum for us all, you know, in that way, because I just think that's a rabbit hole that no one will ever solve that. So God's the only one that knows the answer to those questions.
Wow, you really are handling, I mean, super mature. I am twice your age, and you know, I'm still always in the what if, and you know, and so I'm gonna have to join your channel, like, so I can get all the content, because I need to go on this journey with you guys.
Yeah, you're a part of it now. I mean, that's what we've been trying to do. I think that I'm not doing it by myself. I mean, I'm sharing my experience, but here you guys are calling in and sharing your piece, and you know, we're all sharing a life. We're all alive at the same time, which is like crazy if you really think about the history. I don't want to get too, you know, rabbit hole too, but like if you really think about it, we're all here at the same time going through a journey, and we all have our own individual ones, and then we're all seeing what's happening in the world, and we're all just, you know, we're all just people trying to figure it out. And it's not easy, but when you open up the book and you're willing to talk about some of the harder things and go through, you know, all the fact that we're all human beings and having experiences, I think good things come out of that. So we'll be happy. I'm grateful for your call. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much for talking to me. I hope you have a great weekend. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. She's an Eagles fan, guys. Yeah. She's an Eagles fan. All right. Thank you so
Colby.
much. Bye.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Now I did see Maria. Maria says she fixed her mic, but I don't see it on there, Maria. It doesn't say you have a mic on there. So I'll try one more time, okay? Let's see. Let's see if it goes through. Let's see. I'm last on mute. I hope it works, Maria. I am rooting for you. I'm on your side here. I'm on your team. Yeah, I appreciate you guys so much. This has been awesome. I've loved this. We're gonna have to do this more. We're gonna have to hang out more and talk. Hopefully Maria can get in. It's definitely gonna be probably one of our last ones. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm gonna post real quick for you guys one more time.
Hey,
Maria,
Colby?
are you there?
Yes,
there
I
she
am.
is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi, from Argentina.
I'm so glad you made it.
Oh, thank God. My daughter helped me.
Yeah, I love it. I'm so glad you're here. I was rooting for you the whole time. Like, come on, Maria. I know. I need you to do it. I need it. How you
I
doing?
had to run to her room and wake her up and say, "Can you help me? Can you help me?
Please get the mic on. Please help me." Oh, I love it.
I'm too old for this. Yeah, so I'm glad you're doing this. Really, it's it's so good. It's so good for our soul. Thank you so much for creating this channel, Colby.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of it. I mean, there's
Please.
nothing that I
Yeah.
feel like I could do other than share this experience with all of you guys. And we've been doing this now for
Yeah.
a couple months. It's been an incredible journey to be a part of it with you guys. See your guys' names
Yeah.
pop up all the time, interact with you guys. It's been incredible. So I'm so grateful you guys are here.
Sometimes they're annoying, asking you, how are you, what's up, about the
It's
kids.
not
Well,
annoying at all. No, that's not annoying. I love it. It just sometimes for us, I mean, this stuff for the channel, like when it pops up, your guys' stuff just goes quick. I'm still learning. I'm not a tech guy, so I'm really grateful that this Zoom thing is working because I was tripping it's not going to work. But no, I'm glad that I could definitely talk to you guys and hear your perspectives.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I
Awesome.
was brought in Australia, and my parents came here to Argentina.
Okay.
While your story was going on, I was with my mum in hospital. She had cancer. So I was there with the little TV they put in the room. I was following what happened to your family, and
Wow.
then my mum passed away, and 2 months
Oh,
later,
sorry.
my dad. So
Wow.
I was only child, although I'm a grown up woman. I still consider myself an only child, and I was left alone. So I really connected. It's a different story, but I really connected to you because it's somewhat similar. All of a sudden you're left alone, and you
You're
don't know
alone.
what the hell to do.
Yeah.
You don't know, where to look, where to stand, nothing. So I related to that, and I followed you and what you went through. So I'm really happy that you created this channel, and I'm really happy that there are a lot of us that are going through poop and are trying to, not to say the other word, but
No, I love it.
trying
I
to
love
get
it.
out.
It's the censor. I love it. No, but I feel you on that. I feel you, man.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get out of it. One of the things that I always say, I don't know if people read me, but when you're really feeling down, listen to music. It really soothes your soul. Yeah, listen to music and try to play an instrument. I'm a drummer.
Yeah.
I'm a drummer.
Just going crazy on the drums. I love it.
Yeah. So, you just focus on something, on drumming, and your anxiety just goes away for a little bit. You think about something else, and all what you feel, translates into music. So that's my advice. It's a little advice, but just go into music, play music, and just be happy for a little bit with that.
Yeah. No, I love that. And that's honestly great advice. And that's one thing I love more than anything is when people, talk about how they made it through their times, because you never know who's feeling that, and you never know who's going through what at what moment. And just if you share one single thing, maybe that just helped so many people. Like, oh, next time I'm feeling that, I'm going to go listen to some music. So I appreciate you sharing that, honestly. And I appreciate you being there because I've seen your name. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you. Honestly, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that. I'm sorry about your parents, and I know it's hard to feel that loneliness, but hopefully you're feeling those anchors and having the other people around you that love you and that you're keeping on going,
Thank you so much, and thank you for what you're doing. And you're a great example, and so is your wife. She's a trooper. She's a real trooper. I mean, I have 3 kids of my own. Well, they're not kids; they're your age practically.
Right.
And having little kids and dealing with all this, and she's such a huge rock in your life, and she's an example for us too. So even though you guys are young, example for us too.
Yeah.
we need rocks in our lives too, even though
we all need each other. You know, we all need
Yeah.
good examples and to hold on, and that's what it's for. I hate to sound like a broken record, but I'm so grateful for this community, for you, for everybody who's here, because
Thank you
we're
so
all
much.
supporting each other through the hard stuff, and that's what I wanted. I didn't want, you know, I just wanted to have a place to feel like, you know, I could share how I feel and others could do the same, and it's been like therapy. So I'm really grateful for that.
Thank you
But
so
anyway,
much.
Thank you,
so
and I'm
much.
so glad
Thank
you woke your daughter up. Tell her I'm sorry. It's my bad.
I
You can
went
blame
running.
me.
I
She
thought I
went
could
right. She's
trip.
knocking on the door. She needs help. I'm so
Yeah,
glad
I
you got
was
help
like,
though. Oh my gosh, I love it. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much. Have a great night. Thank you for being here, and thank you for calling in.
And to all the other troopers out there. Much love.
Much love to you too. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye. Bye, everyone.
All right, guys. What a unbelievable night with you. My goodness. I couldn't have asked for more. I had no idea how this would go. You never know. It's very vulnerable. I mean, you guys have been great to me, but you just never know if someone's going to try to pop in and go off. Take this off. My ears are getting hot. Thank you guys. Seriously, like bottom of my heart, that was more than I could have ever asked for from you, more than I could have ever expected. And I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate connecting with you guys on a real level. Tonight means a lot to me. So thank you. We have been going on a journey for a while now, and all your guys' names are familiar to me. I just wanted to be able to talk to you. I hope I'll figure out more Zoom stuff. Maybe I can let more people in. I don't know if we're having any tech issues on that side of it, but I'm like, I love you guys. And I say that not in a cliche, but I appreciate you. I love you. I appreciate you being here and going through this journey, you know, with me. And, you know, it just feels like a big YouTube family. And it just feels so good to be able to talk to you guys, honestly. I wish I could talk to all of you. We all go hang out, you know? Go get some food, see what everybody's favorite food is. But I had so much fun tonight. And I really appreciate you, and I appreciate the kind words. If we do anything like this again, I will give you guys further notice. I did want to apologize for that, only because I did not give you guys very much time to like prepare for it. But I was just thinking it through and, you know, trying to get to that point of figuring it out. So I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for spending your Friday night here. If we have any updates, I will put it on the community tab, as always, and I will keep you guys up to date on anything that's going on. But I love you. Thank you. Seriously. Thank you guys. Bottom of my heart. Had a great night. Hope you guys have a great night. And I'll see you guys soon.